In a quiet corner of Greenwich, Connecticut, the Bradley mansion rose with a quiet dignity among the white, colonial-style homes. Its manicured lawn was alive with seasonal blooms, and a stone path curved gracefully toward the front entrance, as though leading to the set of a classic film. Valued at $2.5 million, the mansion had been the Bradley family's pride and refuge for more than 3 decades. In the front garden, a little girl tended to the flowers with careful hands. Lily Morrison, 8 years old and a second grader at St. Mary's Elementary, had a warmth in her dark eyes that drew people to her. Thoughtful beyond her years, she visited her grandparents' home after school almost every day. Neighbors, accustomed to the sight, often smiled as they watched her kneel by the flower beds, day after day, season after season. "Lily, thank you for watering Grandma's flowers," called a gentle voice from the doorway. It was Amy Morrison, Lily's mother. At 35, Amy served as Director of Research and Development at a major pharmaceutical company. Though her manner was soft, there was a quiet strength in her, one that had guided her through adopting Lily 8 years earlier, and one that kept her committed to supporting her parents with $3,000 a month in rent assistance and paying their medical insurance. Her choice not to inherit the family's real estate business had strained her relationship with them, but she had never regretted it. "Mom, I baked Grandpa's favorite cookies today. Mrs. Johnson taught me the recipe." Lily proudly held up a paper bag, the warm scent of chocolate chip cookies spilling into the evening air. Baking lessons with Mrs. Johnson, their elderly neighbor, had recently become her favorite pastime. "Oh, how wonderful," Amy said with a smile. "Grandpa will be so happy." Beside Amy stood her husband, Michael. At 37, he owned a successful IT company, earning over $300,000 a year. He had always backed his wife's choices wholeheartedly, holding fast to the vow they had made in St. Mary's Church, to walk together through all of life's seasons. Inside the house, Robert and Diana Bradley sat in the sitting room, reviewing a stack of documents. As owners of Bradley Real Estate, a $5 million annual revenue business, they lived under the constant weight of deciding its future. Passing it down to the next generation was their greatest concern, one that often kept them awake long into the night. Their younger daughter, Caitlin, carried those expectations. Once a lawyer, she had shifted into the role of company accountant and quickly won her parents' trust. Despite her flair for extravagance, even after her divorce, she threw herself into work, determined to meet their standards. Her son, Jacob, age 7, attended Greenwich Academy, the most prestigious private school in the area. He was bright but spoiled, perhaps the inevitable result of growing up under constant, unspoken pressure. "Mother, please review these new contracts." The meeting at LaCale went well, Caitlin said, passing a folder across the table. Diana took the papers without hesitation. In an age of cloud storage and digital signatures, she and Robert still preferred the tangible weight of paper. Caitlin accepted their old-fashioned ways with a patient smile, concealing her true thoughts. As the day slipped into evening, the light through the mansion windows softened to gold. Lily finished watering the last row of flowers, her face lit with quiet satisfaction. A few neighbors returning from Whole Foods waved as they passed, and Amy, watching from the porch, felt a calm contentment settle over her. The signature bothered her. Knowing her father's meticulous nature, Amy couldn't shake the feeling that something about it was wrong. In the weeks that followed, Lily began avoiding her grandparents' house. Each afternoon, on her way home from St. Mary's Elementary, she passed the place where she once stopped daily. The once bright garden began to wither, flowers fading without her care. January brought a sharp, unforgiving cold to Greenwich. Amy's family had settled into Grace's vacation home, where Lily had started a fresh flower bed in the wide garden. On weekends, Grace joined her, kneeling beside her to plant and prune. "Grandma, do you think these rose seedlings will bloom in spring?" Grace smiled gently. "They'll bloom beautifully, just like you." Little by little, Lily's wounded heart began to mend, yet whispers about the Bradley family had begun to spread. Sarah Johnson, their observant neighbor, remarked to a friend, "That girl's been shopping in New York again. Last week she came home with several luxury brand bags." Caitlin's lavish spending, even while managing the family's accounting, was hard for the community to ignore. In February, Jim Clark, one of Bradley Real Estate's longest-serving employees, requested early retirement after over 30 years of service. The sudden decision rattled the company. "Something's wrong," said David Stern, legal counsel for Michael's firm. "I'm hearing rumors in the real estate industry about shady transactions at Bradley Real Estate." By early March, the rumors began to take shape. One afternoon, Amy received a letter from Martha Collins, the company's former accounting director. "Miss, I need to speak with your father." The letter went on, "Since Miss Caitlin took over accounting, I've seen more and more transactions I cannot verify." The next day, Amy drove to her parents' house to check on her father. Strange men in suits were coming and going from the office. That morning's newspaper had already broken the news. A tax investigation had been launched into Bradley Real Estate, sparked by an internal whistleblower. "Amy, something terrible has happened," Michael told her. He had received a call from a contact at the tax office. "They suspect your sister has embezzled around $5 million over the past 3 years." By afternoon, Caitlin was gone. "Mom." Caitlin left without saying anything, came Diana's panicked voice over the phone. Caitlin had withdrawn a large sum of cash and vanished, leaving behind her 7-year-old son, Jacob. Investigators uncovered the details quickly, siphoning property payments into secret accounts, inflating maintenance costs to pocket the excess, exploiting her parents' trust to access company seals and bank books, and seizing full control of online banking by preying on their lack of digital knowledge. One Friday evening, police intercepted Caitlin at JFK International Airport as she attempted to flee the country. Why would she do this?" Robert muttered in disbelief at the police station, his head in his hands. The company's reputation collapsed overnight, with liabilities potentially exceeding $10 million. At home, Diana wept, staring through the window at the neglected garden where Lily's flowers now swayed in the wind, untended. That night, in Grace's living room, Amy watched the news in silence while Michael worked with police, assisting their digital forensic investigation. In her bedroom, Lily wrote a quiet plea in her diary. "Please don't let Mom be sad, and please don't let Jacob be lonely." At Greenwich Police Station, Caitlin admitted to the charges in a flat, emotionless voice. Her designer suit had been replaced with prison-issue clothes, her once polished face bare. The truth spilled out. It had started small, skimming funds to cover alimony after her divorce, but indulgence had grown into addiction. Of $3 million in contract payments from business partners, $500,000 had been redirected into her own accounts. Meanwhile, at Bradley Real Estate headquarters, bankruptcy loomed. "At this rate, we'll have to sell off every property," James Foster, the court-appointed trustee, told the remaining staff. Uneasy glances passed between employees. Then came an unexpected turn. Mrs. Johnson, the neighbor, brought an album to the police, a careful collection of photographs documenting Lily's daily visits to her grandparents. "That child came every day," she said softly. Each photo was dated, Lily watering the garden, baking cookies, accompanying her grandparents to medical appointments, rain or snow. She had never missed a day. Security footage confirmed it, 367 consecutive days of visits, even on New Year's Eve, even with a fever. The St. Mary's Church Women's Association also stepped forward. "Every Sunday after Mass, she prayed for them," said Pastor Michael O'Connor quietly. "She always said, 'Please let Grandpa and Grandma stay healthy.' It was the kind of pure prayer only an angel could make."